Associate Professor at YMCA College of Physical Education, Chennai. We will have a short AV about her to introduce her. Ma'am, I invite you onto the dais.
Dr. K. Jyoti Dayanandan, an Associate Professor at YMCA College of Physical Education, Chennai since January 1992, holds degrees in Physical Education from Lakshmibai National College, Gwalior and MS University. She earned her PhD and PG diploma in yoga from Annamalai University. With a prolific academic career, she has published 78 papers in international and national journals, authored 5 books, and contributed to 3 others. A recognized guide for MPhil and PhD, she has mentored 102 MPhil scholars and produced 22 PhD scholars in physical education. Dr. Dayanandan's expertise spans yoga, aerobics for pregnant women, and exercise physiology. Notably, she taught aerobic exercises to over 4,000 pregnant women, authored articles in prominent publications, and represented the university in various sports. Recognized as a technical expert, she choreographed events at the Nehru Stadium inauguration in 1993 and the 7th South Asian Federation Games in 1995. Honored by the Chief Minister and Governor of Tamil Nadu, she has also contributed to health and wellness programs on satellite channels.
The eminent personality belonging to India, Hong Kong and China, I would tell. I welcome Dr. Yuvraj Dayalan onto the dais, and we'll have a short AV played about him.
Dr. Yuva Dayalan, a renowned yogacharya and former international badminton player, boasts an impressive academic profile with MSc in Computer Science, MSc in Yoga, MBA, PG Diploma in Fitness Management, and a PhD. Holder of 4 Guinness World Records and the Pride of India Award, he pioneers sports yoga, training the Indian badminton team and guiding global athletes. Dr. Dayalan's innovative yoga techniques including Yuva Yoga, Badminton Yoga, Kalari Yoga, Golf Yoga and Runners Yoga simplify learning, earning him an applause worldwide. As a media presenter, writer and actor, he produces impactful yoga documentaries and martial arts shows. Founder of Yoga World Festival, he organizes international events, inspires yoga teachers, and promotes yoga in education for smart learning. Through the Yuva Yoga Mandiran Trust, he supports charity events for yoga studies, children's education, and social causes, showcasing his dedication to positive societal impact.
Especially people who are inclined towards sports, and we all know from our basic physiology that due to their endurance training throughout, athletes have different characteristics from all of us with regards to their skeletal muscle properties or cardiac muscle properties, and their respiratory and cardiovascular systems are so well endowed. Their cardiac output is much better than any of us when they start exerting. So many such changes do take place as they do train, and in fact, the type of athletic events they do take up also is sometimes believed to be genetically determined. The chronaxial Rio base of muscles of some athletes who take up, let's say, endurance training versus those who take up an 100-meter dash itself could be very different. So it's so exciting to listen to eminent teachers who are here who will talk about all these to us and enlighten so that we in our respective fields could encourage athletes well. So welcome to this session, and I want the first speaker to Madam Jyoti to start off this session.
Thank you very, very much. Respected chairperson, the co-chairperson and Dr. Yuvraj and the learned members of the dais. On my very outset, I would like to thank the organizing committee for this beautiful opportunity that you have given to share a little about physical education and its importance for the athletes and how to inculcate yoga into sports. So, and I would like to also put upon my thanks to the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Manjunath, and in special Dr. Sri Devi for all that effort that she had been taking and the frequent calls and the efforts she had taken to bring me out here. Well, the topic, of course, was generally given, and I have taken as it is, and it did take some time for me to go with it. Well, so I'll be talking about the popularity, how today yoga has taken its place, and worldwide it is spreading all over in various countries. So if you see, the yoga has been implemented as a part of the curriculum in more than 56% of the institutions in America and other Australian countries, and India has now become such a large field, has extended the compulsory education, the elective education, and it has become a part of the curriculum. So as long as I'm in physical education, I got my schooling from Kendra Vidyalaya in the year 84, I passed out. And at that time, yoga was compulsory in my school days. And later when I came here into the Tamil Nadu government, and I could not see about the importance of yoga, and still it is at a very grassroots level to bring yoga as a compulsory education in these schools and all. Whereas in CBSE and other boards, of course, all over India it is coming up, and Karnataka is the first state to adopt the new education policy and to bring yoga as a part of their curriculum as compulsory education in the school education, particularly in B.Ed, it is being implemented. So even it has been brought out in the newly framed syllabus by UGC for B.Ed and M.Ed, and it's become a part of the curriculum. Earlier it wasn't there, and in some institutions it is adopted as electives. So in all the training centers in NIS, Patiala, and in all the where the elite athletes are being trained, yoga has become almost like a bread and butter. Like every day you need to brush your teeth, in the same way it has become most important, which is inevitable. So it has become a part of their daily life. So when you look into the main goals of yoga, of course the physical, we just don't talk about we talk about the face is the reflection of your health. So the moment you start from your hair, the number of hair per square centimeter in your head counts about your health, how good it is. So if you have a good thick hair, that means you sound to be a good healthy person with the texture on the skin and all that. Apart from your internal organs, the respiratory system and the motor components, that speaks about your physical health. Then when it is in disaster or emergency or somewhere crucial and you have to make use of your mental mind, how you react to that particular situation, how sharp you are at, that is where we talk about mental health. Not that you just go with abacus and do all kind of calculations and mathematics and come out well. That alone doesn't matter, but this also sounds a lot for a person. So socially, how good you are being liked by the people around, that definitely speaks. Do your parents like? Do your siblings like? Do your peers like? All these things are some of the questions which stands, like how socially fit you are. And spiritually, we all do get connected, and this was lacking in the definition of health by WHO, and WHO has added the word spiritual, in their definition, and today it just goes with that. And ultimately, self-realization. If you know yourself, you have you have conquered the complete world, that is what it is. So self-realization is the one for which we need to work on, and yoga definitely leads to that. And today, if you see in the training sessions, okay, I'll try to do that, I'm sorry. That's it. So if you could see the training sessions where every athlete has got a set of exercises to be performed by them, right? So when I used to perform, like, when you used to do together within a group, apart from that, I will have my own individual exercises to be performed. Unless and until I do that, I don't feel that I'm warmed up completely, So in the same manner, when it comes to relaxation also, every athlete have got the freedom to do what they want. So they are given some time to do. So once I happened to witness the Koreans and after the hockey match, they spend almost 1 hour for their recovery period or the cool down session. So that was very amazing. Whereas I could see another set of people, on the other opponent side, they just went with, discussing about only the match and the tournament and the situation that had arrived, and they had a group discussion and they left the arena. Whereas these people were on the other side of the ground and trying to cool down. So recovery definitely makes, and every athlete, even before one batsman gets out, the other man, before he puts on his kit, he does sits on meditation and prepares on a visualization and then gets into the arena to perform better. So it has become a part and the soul of the every athlete as such. So now let me introduce you to the physical fitness components. So when you look into the fitness components, you have skill related fitness components and the health related physical fitness components. So these two are the one which talks about the physical fitness and all that, but all those who are into the sports have to adhere to skill related fitness variables. Research has to be on how agility can be improved through yoga, yogic practice. How can you improve by what kind of asanas can be done to develop the agility in an athlete? So of course balance is one, but I'll be discussing with that, and the next comes is the coordination, the power, the reaction time and speed. So these are the actual components to be there in every athlete irrespective of whatever it is. So the basic we require that the athlete should have minimum of all these, and of that when you look into the health related, like you, me and others who are not into competition, let it be of any age, have to adhere to aerobic fitness. So if you are able to come from one platform to another platform, okay, that's good, you have a basic fitness, okay, aerobic fitness. If you are able to carry your suitcase or briefcase or whatever it is from, today the airport has become such a big, you know, if you go to Delhi almost 5 kilometers, you have to move from gate number 1 to gate number 36, keep dragging your suitcase, okay. So you need to have aerobic fitness, you need to have muscular strength, you need to have muscular endurance to carry that for a longer duration, and then flexibility is one. If you have a good flexibility, that means your longevity of the life is more. The better your, we talk also about your smaller the waistline, longer your lifeline. So all that speaks about that, and comes as your body composition. How much of fats you have? Do you have fats around your neck? Do you have fats around your arms, on your thigh, whatever it is? But then there are different methods where you are looking for whether you're getting onto the blood test or you're getting onto the using your skin fold caliper or percentage of fat or BMI. There are many methods, or height and weight method, whatever it is. Like you have to look at you, you know, you should look perfect. That's all. So according to your height, how well you look, that speaks about. Now, why should the athletes do yoga? Right. So to increase flexibility is always there. Yeah, the stability of the muscles, particularly the core, the lower abdomen and the lower back. So these two comprises of your core muscles. So whenever you try to do yogasana or try to train an athlete to develop their strength, ensure that you stick upon the core muscles, that is lower abdomen, lower back, and also the lower part of the body, the lower limbs. And then yoga helps in rejuvenating the athletes and to give the body a break and a reset after intense exercise. You know, they'll have a bouts of exercises. So in between that, you need to give a small break, just like a crispy, you take a sip of water. That's in similar manner, you can make out your own formula or your module that can reach every athlete. And then strength building, recovery, stress reduction, stability, balance, endurance. And when you look into the injury prevention, this is what they've been talking about, and how the injury prevention takes place, and how to enhance coordination in the athletes right from the childhood. If you want to train the athlete, coordination is the first thing which need to be developed in the child. So through yogic practice, how well you can develop the coordination among the child or the children who are going to become the forthcoming athletes of the nation, you need to stress upon that. And only at the 7th standard, while they are of 12 years of age, okay, you can catch them young, we say. So catch them at the grassroots level and then develop the athlete. That could be done. And yoga helps in focusing and the concentration. It helps in physical conditioning, recovery and better sleep. This, when you look at, you know, agility, balance, reaction time, coordination. So all these are some there which is there in the athlete, and you have to look upon how best we can do. So what are the benefits generally we see on an athlete, whether you can develop speed through yogic practice or through asana practice? How is that? Still it's on question mark, and no research has been done that the yogic asana can help in developing speed in the athlete. So there are researches which speaks about power, there are researches which speaks about the aerobic fitness, the flexibility, muscular fitness, all are there. So when you are trying to do some research, you have to look upon what can be basically emphasized upon. Now, yoga for athletes also, now let us go with part by part, and now we'll just trigger upon the increasing strength, enhancing balance and coordination. So when you look into that, there are some asanas which can be developed like Tadasana, Utkatasana, Vakrasana, okay, Virabhadrasana, then Uttita Hasta Padasana, Anguthasana, then Garudasana. All these are some of the asana which stands upon one leg, okay, and you can emphasize upon that. So balance and stability is very, very, very essential part of it, not only for the athlete. As we grow older, to walk on one leg and transfer the weight on another leg also requires stability and the balance. If they don't have balance, you know, what they'll do? They'll go in search of a person to help them. Yeah, if that is not there, they'll look for a stick, one stick, then they get on to the 2 sticks, and then it comes to, you know, 4 leg and then wheelchair. So this is what happens, and this has to be a main thing which speaks about the stability. So many yoga poses require concentration and balance, which can improve stability. So and the proprioception. So proprioception is the reflex arc which takes the message from efferent nerve and afferent nerve, and it talks about you. If I ask, close your eyes and raise your hand, so to the shoulder level, if the hands are like this is not called as shoulder length, okay? So they should know where is shoulder with the closed eyes, and to keep it accordingly. For all that, you need to have a proper proprioceptors, and this is particularly beneficial for athletes and fitness enthusiasts engaged in activities that demand coordination, control, such as running, weightlifting, or any kind of team sports. So injury management is something which is very, very important areas where athletes lose their performance even after once they get injured. So there are many places, as you said, you know, you could see so many centers working on the injury prevention, the management. Prevention is better than cure. So what I say is you need to stress upon the major muscles of the body that is required. The demand is there for particular sports, for the specific sports. So if it is for badminton, what are the muscles that are major, and what kind of basic fitness that is required, or the specific fitness is required by a badminton player, has to be known by you, so that you can stress upon that and work on it. If I recall one incident of one particular competition, small competition in our college, where one girl jumped, she landed after receiving the ball, and she got into ankle twist on both the ankles. I was just surprised, like how poor she must be in her fitness aspect. If you don't have balance, if you don't have strength in the joints, the ligaments, the muscles, the particularly the tendons, all that have to be strengthened accordingly, so that they can bear your own body weight. That is what we look upon. So you have to ensure that the muscles are being strengthened to keep them get prevented from the injury. Then flexibility. So flexibility, of course, is another part of their life, and yoga has been stressing upon that, and it is the actual thing that is developed. But when it comes to the weightlifters or the bodybuilders, they become so fat. When you call them, they can't even turn. They just turn their body as a whole. Yes, they'll reply like this. And their walking style, the muscles that they have, they can't receive the phone, you know, as it is like a simple that we do, because the muscles are so bulged that it hurts them. So in such kind of cases, you know, they basically don't stress upon the flexibility or the post stretches after the weight training is being done. So you can catch upon those athletes who are onto that, and then take them, call them, and then ensure that the muscles are supple. So suppleness is one thing, characteristics of the muscle among the sportsmen, which need to be emphasized, and you can work on that. So yeah, so this is where the flexibility that you can talk about, and next we will push upon the other aspects of the athletes. Now when you see the starting block, the athlete on the starting block takes a position which is part of the Surya Namaskara. Yeah, So we all know Ashwa Sanchalan position is very great, which helps in developing the core muscles of the body, and it also develops the stability. So when they are on the starting block, they are on to the Surya Namaskara. So if that is being held and if they have a better core position, you know, core muscles are stronger and the position and the stability is there, obviously what they can do is they can develop and improve upon their core muscles. Yeah, core stability can be done. So this is Dandasana. You can see even Shashtanga, you can see that can be developed. And next comes is your physical conditioning. So physical conditioning is something which talks about the complete system of a sportsman. So you need to get conditioned to certain load and then get adapted to it. So if asana can be inculcated in a very crispy manner into their conditioning aspect, probably that can become a routine in their lifestyle, and you should always see how it is being transferred, you know, the asanas and the positions of the athletes as and when it is on demand and during their exercise bouts. So next comes is your mental wellness. Every athlete doesn't go for suicide if they lose the match, okay? Whereas we see that after +2 or if they don't clear the NEET exam or they don't get into medicine or whatever it is, you know, children go for suiciding. If he is a sportsman, he is trained to be a good sportsman, nobody will commit suicide because failures are being met by them. So mental toughness is very, very essential, which can be developed through yogic practice. Give them the asana, take them, pull them. Such kind of school children can also be targeted, and you can also give them the mental wellness so that they can, they don't take a hasty decision of getting into any kind of disasters. Then yoga helps in holistic healing. To my surprise, I saw a dog, okay, which met with an accident near my house, and I was looking for that dog, and I used to call it as Soxy. And then the watchman said that the dog met with accident and missing. So I went searching and I saw the dog sitting in a pit where there was some water and the dog was bleeding. It's so surprising that the cryotherapy was, the dog knew how to heal itself, yeah. The self-healing we call. There was no doctor to heal, there was nothing, and the dog knew what to eat, what not to eat, and how to heal itself from the injury that happened. And I could see the slow process of, from limbing, the dog started running, okay. So this was a small experiment that I myself saw. Then why do we go searching for the thing? So if you see, if there is a fracture, there is a self-healing which takes place. But thing is, we need to align the bone accordingly so that the joint is done properly and the healing process takes place automatically. So today, all the athletes have started getting on to holistic healing. They do go for some treatment, but does not, they need to be emphasized also on holistic healing so that they don't get stressed. Next comes is your body-mind connection. So if a person is trying to perform something, they need to concentrate as a whole on that. If they are on the starting block, they are on your mark, set, and before the pistol is on, the complete concentration should be there on the start. If they miss even a fraction of seconds, you know, the start goes off, okay. He may be failure, he can give a false start, and he can be out of the competition also. So it is such a delicate situation, and to handle an athlete and at that situation, because the arousal level will be high, the anxiety level will be high, and they would have given they've broken the world record, and now they are on the Olympic arena to break their own world record. But nothing goes if they are having, they are not having the body and the mind connected, okay. So what we see is yoga plays a very vital role, and it also emphasizes on mind-body connection. The practice involves mindfulness, deep breathing, and awareness of body sensation. Integrating these aspects into traditional conditioning can enhance focus, reduce stress, and improve mental resilience. So, you know, you have to overcome one tough thing which has happened, you know, and you have to come out. That is called resilience. You cannot keep on thinking the same match situation, I lost. No, you have to come out. So yoga can definitely take them, give them mental resilience during workout and competition. So you can see the recovery is being basically done. The relaxation is done through yogic practice, and yoga includes relaxation techniques such as deep breathing and meditation, which promotes the recovery and reduces the stress and the calming the mind. The mind, after the competition is over, the heartbeat is so high, the muscles, the palpation, the nerves, the tak, 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 it goes on for very long. And even while you are on the starting block, the heartbeat that goes, unless you experience, it is unimaginable. And there are thousands and lakhs of camera, on the athletes, on the starting block, and to excel and to break and to come out. Oh, it is a tremendous. I remember I wanted my two daughters to be a sportsman, but then, one daughter is a tennis player and another one into yoga and throw ball. She said, Mom, to study and to get medicine or whatever you are looking for is better than playing and winning and getting into the sports quota. So this was a statement which really has gone into my mind, and I really think any sportsman who works out and gets the medal and gets into the sports quota, you should literally appreciate them and how much hard work they would have done. So yoga can obviously help them in recovery and relaxation. So when you look into a mind, they need to get focused, and imagery, concentration, mental toughness, confidence, visualization, realization, all these are the aspects of the sportsman where they need to get on to. And this kind of mental focus has been talking about, if they want to make a shot, they get only fraction of second, they just dribble the ball and then shoot inside. They get 1 second, just like while driving a car and you have to see the side mirror or the back mirror, whatever it is, fraction of second, and that is what has been calculated. You need to be very, very sharp, and the focus has to be in a minute second. So now you have to think how yoga can help the athletes to get onto their mental focus, and how can their concentration ability can be developed, and visualization. So thus you have to trick upon their improving their anxiety level to improve their mental resilience. This is what we are now looking for. Next comes is the component is endurance. So endurance basically is, vinyasa or the power yoga, which involves the continuous movement and includes, I'll just go a little faster. And Surya Namaskara, of course, helps in all your endurance development. It also develops your breathing aspect, which is a combination of all. And yoga helps in focusing on the breath control, hold the pose for longer. And it is a contraindication for the children. Always remember, you are taking them for the competition, making them to hold for longer is contraindication, whereas for athletes and for older people, you need to get on to that. Next comes is the interval training. You can take them, bit by in between your training program. You can, as a yoga teacher, you can enter the arena, give them the interval. In the interval, you can approach them, give them some asanas, so that they can be, next slide please. Yeah, so when you see yoga, it goes with the holistic, got it? Yeah. Previous cognitive, previous? Yeah. So you have to get on to the holistic approach, which leads to cognitive, psychological, spiritual, and the physical aspect. And when you see the sportsmen, if they are not taken care of, they can go mad. Okay, so you have to take them, console them, put them, and motivate them, and only through yogic practice you can get on to it. Now I'll just introduce you in bit what are the different styles of yoga which is coming today, and there are every day one new yoga is coming up. So nail yoga is there, hot yoga is coming, aqua yoga. So every day, one. If you sit and perform some asana on the nail board, it is called as nail yoga. Okay, so there are n number of raising yogas are coming. You can make use of the animals, that. And next comes is your aerial yoga and the pole yoga. This is again a trending one. The previous one. Yeah, so aerial yoga and the pole yoga are some new trends of yoga, where styles that incorporates an acrobatic twist. So athletes during the transitional period, okay, during the off season, you can take them and introduce them to the various methods of yoga, whichever they select, you can opt for it, and which helps in healing their breathing difficulties also. So there are many studios which work on it, and people can be introduced to that. And I always say that taste it, always taste it and go. So this is called as rope yoga. This is also has become a kind of trendy one. And I don't know whether you practice here in your yoga center, sir. Yeah, you have. Yeah, so this has become for general people. You can also introduce to the athletes and taste it. Yeah. The next comes is your aqua yoga. Aqua yoga. So aqua yoga is again, I know, a trendy one which speaks about the trend. Everybody wants stylish method of thing. So if you see Kapil Dev, he is supposed to be a cricketer, we all know him, but he also has played for India in polo, very good at that. So during the off season, they go and play some other game, and he has also represented India in volleyball or national, somewhere he is. So that way, when you take them to a different field, they also get adapted to a different kind of techniques and other thing. So practicing yoga and meditation in water brings back to the basic. Next. So this is called as power yoga. Enthusiasts say that it enhances your stamina, flexibility, posture and mental focus. Like all physical activities, it also reveals tension and releases toxin through sweat. Because of its vigorous, it burns out calories, most traditional form of yoga, and therefore can help with weight loss also. So next comes as your active meditation. So you can, as the athlete is running, actually when you see how to run scientifically, if you see, they have to concentrate on their stomach coming up and down. They have to concentrate on the stride length and the breathing aspect. So this is what is the basic notes which is given as a technique of running. So that is a kind of active meditation. If you are also walking, if you can concentrate on your arm swing, your leg stride, your stride length, how you're taking your legs, whether it is going like this, or you're taking one leg in front of another leg. So that is also called as active meditation. I also take you to another example. If you are brushing your teeth every day, just close your eyes and feel where your brush is touching every part of your teeth. That is also called as active meditation. If a woman prepares the food in her house, she is not meditating while she is cooking, her food will not be good. So every part of our life has got meditation, but then you have to make it as an active part of it, so that to make it as a complete task. So this is called as aerial yoga. And aerial yoga is, again, you can install it in the athletes' houses. They can have one of such kind. And then aerial yoga basically combines the acrobatic arts and the anti-gravity asanas, but it also is an accessible practice which is easy for every athlete to perform. And the moment this slip comes, I understand. I have been given a warning. Yeah, so you can just go through that. This is called as backbend fearlessly with yoga. This is called as mini yoga. See, you don't take them for 1 hour or 2 hours of yogic practice for the athletes. Just give them 10 to 15 minutes of yogic practice to the athlete. That is enough for them. And that is what I have talked about here. Next. And this is called as yen yoga. When you take them for yen yoga, veteran athletes can also be taken. Here you have to focus upon a few asanas per session, not all the asanas. You can touch upon 3 to 4 asanas which has to be taken, hold it for a longer duration, and then slowly release it. That is what is called as yen yoga. And today every scientist, because the connective tissues are more at the lower limb, so particularly for geriatric people this has become more. And the yen yoga combines yoga with Chinese philosophy. In the Chinese theory of yen yoga, each pose is held which touches upon the meridian and the energy centers of your body. Next. So Kundalini yoga you all know, which is a common method. Next. Next. Yeah, so you can give them sometimes the color books. Next. So let those people start painting. Take them outdoor yoga, take them to beach, give them relaxation during the off season. Yeah, transitional period. Today researchers have gone to the level that everywhere the researches are done and what muscles are working on what. Next. And every nook and the corners are being touched upon. Next. Yeah. Next. How to keep the spine, where does the Jalanda Bandha, yeah, stop. So biomechanical standard, they have identified that this is the Parvatasana is the asana which does not give any injury because the weight is being balanced in all the parts of their body, or both the arms, both the legs, and it stretches all parts of the front and the back, and blood circulation to the head and eye takes place. Thus, we call Sarva Anga Asana, the previous slide, as the best. They have identified this asana as one of the best, which doesn't lead to any kind of injury. Next. So there are many guidelines biomechanics have now given for yoga or the asana practice. There should be stability while you're performing. Yeah, there should be protection of the small joints should be there. You have to take care that the injury does not take place in athletes. And when flexibility of the connective tissue is the goal, avoid eliciting the mitotic stretch reflexes. So there are some muscles which cannot work on it, and hold the stretch for 30 seconds and then slowly release it. And this practice utilizes the concept of viscoelasticity, low deformation and cripping, and also gives respect to the neutral tension and neutral mobilization. Next. So now the analysis are only, we used to talk about the exercise and axis and the planes, and they have now talking about the asanas, to which plane, to which angle, which sagittal plane we are working on. Next. So line of gravity, center of gravity, as you saw the other scientists talking about the line of gravity, the path of gravity, the all that. Okay, so here you can see where the stresses, where the injury can take place, how it is being balanced. So the science is today working, and the scientists are working on these areas and how to make yoga as one of the best method. Yeah, next, next. So you can always make yoga as a gateway to develop. Next. So takeaway tips. Okay. So you could see the takeaway tips that I have framed in a complete manner. So researchers have found that hot yoga, of course, enhances the cardiovascular responses and the plasma volume percentages. And it's best to do yoga for the short time every day rather than only taking them to the big session. Yeah. And athletes' routine should include plenty of poses that allow them to relax and lengthen their muscles and the tissue. This helps to improve flexibility, mobility, range of motion. These variations in yoga practice contributes to maintaining fitness, skill acquisition, optimizing physical health and sports performance amidst the demand of the competitive world. And the conclusion is, athletes should work with experienced yoga instructors who understand the specific need and challenges of their sport. Tailoring yoga practice to complement an athlete's training regimen can contribute to a holistic approach to health and performance. Integrating yoga into a well-rounded training program can lead to improved physical fitness, mental resilience, and a more balanced approach to athletic endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, speaker. It was a wonderful presentation, and how yoga works and how yoga improves performance. A beautiful model was presented. We can take up maybe 2 questions considering time. Yeah, please, volunteers, please.
Yes, sir.
Help the delegates with the questions.
Hello. I have a question to you. If you have considered dynamic Surya Namaskar to use as a warm-up exercise, not only in yoga, but also for other sports. Most people, as I watch, they like to do jogging, you know, little running, you know, and things like that. But that is only appealing to the lower part of the body, while Surya Namaskar addresses just about all the muscles of the body, all the joints. So it appears to be a superb practice, which is very long tradition. If you look closely at that, you can find that it is perhaps the oldest cross-fitness system. That is number one. And I always wonder going around India and not finding the proper usage. Surya Namaskar, and I stress dynamic, because it can be done very slowly, but it can be done
Fast.
very fastly.
Yeah.
I mean fast, 7.5 seconds
Yeah.
for 12
No,
poses.
I have-
And that means
Yeah.
that, because you talked also about losing body weight, that in half an hour practice of 240 Surya Namaskars, you would lose about 1 kg body mass. That is one thing. The other thing of practicing dynamic Surya Namaskar would be increasing tremendously your cardiovascular efficiency, cardiopulmonary efficiency, and that is again broadly overlooked in sports in India, what I find. And I wonder why, because as you measure, you must know the parameter MET. So we classify different activities. For example, lying in Shavasana, maybe it will be, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 MET. Doing soccer would be, soccer is a very fast, dynamic game. It would be around 10 MET. But in our measurements, in our laboratories, we reached levels from 4.5 to 16 MET, which is unheard of in other world-class sports.
Yeah, yeah.
So therefore, my question to you is, why do you overlook this most ancient, most perfect system, which has been tested over 5,000 years in India? You know, when you design certain methodology, it's good to
Yeah.
test it, right?
Yeah, I got your
in
question.
IT. And here, I see just total oblivion. And
Yeah,
the
I'll come back
last
to you.
point is that one of the greatest basketball players from LA Lakers, Mr. Kareem, he retired from sports, from basketball. You know how competitive in America it is, when he was 45. And he had to compete with 20-year-old basketball player. You know,
Yeah, there's
it's a vast
generation
difference.
gap.
So
Yeah.
they asked him about the secret. What do you do, sir, that you can compete at the highest level? And he says, I have a secret, but I will tell you
That's
when
the
I
secret?
retire, because I don't want competition.
Yeah.
And finally, when he retired, actually, I was told that story about 10 years ago here at S-VYASA.
Yeah, you can make it bit faster.
And
Thank you.
what
I think,
happened?
I request to make a brief about the question. I think, please, we are running out of time. And
Ju-
please come to
last half
Yes,
sentence. So he said he was always, before his basketball training, practicing Surya Namaskar.
Great. See, Surya, actually, what is happening is India has been getting on to the westernization, and the coaches that are being, they're training Indian teams today and even earlier are all from there. So all other fields in India have always excelled other than physical education and the sports and coaching. So as you say, though it has to slowly inculcated with the research, the results into it. So I want the budding stars who are here in yoga should get appointed in NIS, or like Madam, Kavita was here. Like them, you can also get inside and start with a small research work, be there with those athletes and see how the performance are being enhanced and how the injury can be prevented. And we are still, the research is there. People have done, but the publications have not come on to the media. That is what I was questioned once by the Malaysian delegates. They say that there are so many yoga researches are on, but it is not being published. But as you say, Surya Namaskara have undergone 240 beats in a minute, that kind of, when you perform it so high and 12 times as early, you say half an hour. I rather would say that within 12 minutes, you could do the 12 series of Surya Namaskara, 12 stages for 12 times, left side and the right side, which if you do to that extent, the heartbeat went to the height, and I have done that on me. So we call it as high intensity interval training, which is also a part of it. So I have skipped that point actually. We can also make it as HIIT as a form of training for the athletes, sometimes alternatively, just for 10 minutes, it can be included in them. Thank you so much, sir. Any other question?
Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. But the recent trends has been telling that recent studies, stretching has to be included in the session. It's not a compulsory. So how much we have to stress the stretching practice in our warm-up sessions?
Okay, very good question. See, I've been referring to some of the sports medicine books where they say that pre-stretching is important and we've been emphasizing. Then one fine day, Dr. Kannan Pugarandi, the sports medicinist, said that this is not required. Okay, so first he himself said that this is essential and the trends are changing as per the researchers, it is going. So even in our college, we give pre-stretch before and then they go for conditioning and then post-stretch we give. Nowadays, the pre-stretch has been stopped because the micro tear can occur if the body is not warmed up. So I would rather say that if you're walking from your hostel to the center, that time itself your muscles are toned almost, right? So getting onto the pre-stretch becomes a habit. If you bring that in your routine, then obviously without the stretching, the quadricep muscle or calf muscle or hamstring group of muscles, I would rather not get into it as long as I'm concerned. Same way the athletes are used to certain module or a system of warming up which had been enduring in them and they have been sustaining it for very long, they cannot change that. So it depends the trend of pre-stretch and then post-stretch or no pre-stretch, conditioning and then post-stretch. Okay, so it is all trendy and the research scientists are the one who emphasize, just like diabetes is there, sugar is high level, like that, the trend. Some say coconut oil is not good, some say coconut oil is good, ghee is not good, some say ghee is good. Today madam was saying ghee was good and I was all these days like thick oil which is thickened, okay, oxygenated or hydrogenated oils are not that very good, but the trends are again changing. Fine. So this is all that. Okay, I believe I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As Dr. Jyoti wants to leave early, we will do the felicitation for her by our chairpersons, Dr. Prashant and Dr. Raghavendra Bhatt. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sirs. We will move on to the next sessions quickly as we are running out of time. So we have Dr. Yuvraj with us on the topic Yuva Yoga. I think it's going to be very interesting. A pre-lunch session is going to be amazing. So I invite this next speaker for the day.
Good afternoon all. I know that it's a tiring sessions from the morning. Good afternoon all. I can't hear. Good afternoon all. Thank you. So I know that like you're sitting from the morning. I think like a cordless will be better for me to just like with that name, that's all. Okay, so just like going on with the next slide. So you can just like see that this is like 20 years before. So a sports person turning inside yoga, which was a big news in like India because that time when I went to Hong Kong, okay. So when I was just like going out of the country after selecting for as a yoga master in Hong Kong, it was a big news because that time I was the Indian number 2. I was quitting the Indian team and just like getting off inside a next profession or as a passion. Okay, the story is like a different one. I think I don't have a time or else I'll be just like getting a lot of notices from the small chits will be just like coming and it's time for lunch also. So you can just like see it off like from there like it's grown, just like grown on both the aspects, like on the spiritual aspects or like just like getting my PhD, my education. I think you have just seen it off. For my parents, I studied MSc Computer, MBA. For myself, I studied like MSc Yoga, MPhil in Sports and Exercise Nutrition from Hong Kong, PhD in Kalari and Varmam, second PhD in like effects of yogic practice in the field of badminton. So this is what I just studied. Okay. Next slide. So here like just like more of than like talking, I think like we'll try to just like move our body a little bit. So this is what like I've just like done it off. It is known as like Kalari Yoga, Runners Yoga, Golf Yoga, Badminton Yoga, which I just like specialize it and like everything. In the pre-conference, I was just like going on with the Runners Yoga. So because running is a event which is like more commonly done and like everything. So we'll try to just like have a feel like how it is, like how it works and like everything. How many of you run or how many of you walk a long walk or like anything, running. Good, 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, marathons. Okay, good. So it's just like going to be, try to just like get up from your chairs. I just like want you all standing. Just stand up. So the previous question was just like there is the pre-stretching was just like important or like not. So it all like depends upon the sports. Trust me, like the Olympic athlete who's going to be just like running the 100 meter or 200 meter, just to run a 100 meter, okay, they warm up and they stretch for almost like 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. So it all depends upon the event, like what you're just like going to do and like everything. So basically how I just like classify the body is like going to be like, I just like try to split up inside like 8 joints, starting from your ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, elbows, wrist and your neck. So all that is quickly we are going to be just like learning how to loosen up. This is just like called as a loosening up exercises. If you want, you can just like step aside from the chair so that like try to have a little space so that like from the toes quickly we are going to be just like running down. Hands to your hips, hands to your hips. Your right big toes in the front, just like rotate it clockwise 3 times, anti-clockwise 3 times. This is going to be just getting for your ankles. On your left leg, clockwise 3 times, anti-clockwise 3 times. Getting a little bit more, just like try to put your right leg in the front a bit as much as possible. Try to flip it out, push your hips back, try to lean in the front as much as possible so that you can just like have the body weight on the external side of your ankles where you'll be just like stretching your ankles. Come up slowly. Now take your left in the front, open your toes, push your hips back, extend, stretch and just like get down. Okay, come back slowly. For those who are running and like everything, this you'll be just like feeling it a little helpful. Okay, now heels together, both the heels together. All that is like try to just like open your right leg by the side and with the same line try to take your left leg by the side, both the legs in straight line. Try getting both the legs in straight line. I know that like okay, it's going to be an external flexors which is going to be just like working. Now just like come back slowly, legs a little apart. Now try to get for an internal rotation on your heels, on your right heels. Try to just like rotate and just take your right leg inside, getting in line. And same thing, try to just like get your left leg getting in line like an X-man. You should not be bending your knees. Don't push your partners next to you. Okay. Come back slowly. Now just like getting on your knees. The next joint is going to be your knees. Both the heels together, both the hands on your knees. A gentle movement, just back and front. The knee should not be going outside your toe line. Don't rotate it, just first back and front. A small, gentle, small rotation, clockwise 3 times. A small rotation, anti-clockwise 3 times. Okay, going ahead, like legs a little bit apart, hands to your hips. Okay, gentle hip rotation, 3 times clockwise, 3 times anti-clockwise. We are on our third joints, anti-clockwise. With that, like we are trying to just like stretch our ribs. So from here, try to just like get your right hand as close as possible to your knees by your lateral side. If your elbows can touch, it's very good so that you can be just like stretching your lats muscle fully. Come back slowly, other side. Okay, good. So we finished our third muscle, third joint. The fourth one, getting on your spine. It's an easier one, okay, by seeing, but like it takes time to just like do it off. So when I'm doing it, you'll be knowing it. So all that is trying to just like lock your hands, heels together, just like. Come back slowly, open your shoulders. I know what is happening. Okay, I know what is happening over here. Okay. Trust me, it is not because of my long hands or long legs I am just like going. It is all just a small technique which just like gets from your shoulders. It's just the mobility what you're going to be getting from the shoulders. When you're going down, try to just like roll on your shoulders, try to make that space. Watch me first. Roll on and then like just slide. If you are going to be, if I push, even I can do it. So it is just like trying to make the space. Right now, it will take some time. It's not going to be happening overnight. It's just a practice. So like this is a homework. Try to just like have it off. Okay, now next one, what we are going to be doing it off is just like getting for the fourth one, getting on with your shoulders, for the rotatory cuff of your shoulders. Stretch your hands up. Your left hand to your right elbows. Now from here, slowly stretch and roll outside. No shoot. Try to go as much as possible. Guys, I don't want it to be I want it to be on your elbows as much as possible. Or it is here also okay. Try to get that muscle stretched. Try to get the rotatory cuff stretched as much as possible, because if you are going to be just like you're going to be going by the side, you'll be stretching your ribs. It's not going to be for your shoulders. Change the hands. So this is like, the next one is going to be, again it's an easier one. It's just like going to be taking time. It's going to be for your elbows and your wrist. Hands in the front. All your joints in the body. This is a basic joints loosening exercise. No, we are not going to sit down. We are not going to sit down. Not yet over. Not yet over. Not yet over. So I know that like most of you will be running. So like the first, because like instead of going with like badminton, golf and like coloring, which I'll be definitely doing it off. I don't want my pre-conference students also to be just like getting bored, because like we'll just like get inside the running first. Like there are like, okay, running. In running, like we have like two types of running. One is going to be a short distance running, which is going to be like competitive, and like you need to be training a lot. Another one is going to be a long distance walk or a long distance running. So how do we run a long distance? How do we run a short distance? So like, okay, because like every one of you just like run. So when you run, how do you run? I think like there's two mics on both the sides. So if someone can just like talk, it will be just like good. How do you run? Okay, to just like someone. Okay, fine. So we are going to be just like moving. Okay, what gentleman is just like doing it off. We are going to be just like coming. Try to just like turn towards the outside wall, like maybe along this side. So all that is like 3 to 4 steps. So on running, first is I want you to just like strike your toe and your heel. So this is the short distance running. Let it be 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter, 1000, and like for 1500 meters, we do a short distance running. It's going to be like the heel and toes. So I run it. I start with my start with my toes and go on my heels. So toe and heel. Try to just like use your toe first and heel next. Try it. Just like 4 steps. Toe and heel. Okay, just like come back again. So next is going to be, okay, when you're going to be just like, when you're going to be running with your toe and the heel. Most of you are BNYS students and the yoga students. When you're going to be running with your toe and your heel, try to visualize and just like feel that like what muscles you are using when you are running with toe and the heel. Toe and the heel. When I'm running, what muscle is working in my body? Okay, my calf is working. Then hamstrings is just like working. Then when I just like push, what is working? Okay, and then what is the other one? Gastrocnemius. Like then what is the other muscle? Okay, my calf is working, hamstring is working. After the hamstring, which is the other muscle engaging? Lower back. Okay, now same thing. If I'm going to be running a long distance, I'll be using a heel and the toes. So now try to use your heel. That is starting with your heel and toes. Heel and toes. Try moving with heel and toes. Moving with heel and toes. Okay, what muscle works? What muscle works? The straight hit, what is it? So straight away it goes with the glutes. So you can just like see that, okay, you can just like sit down. Enough. So you can just like see that it's both are a running movement. Both the movements are running, but like when you're going to be just like using your toes and the heels, it's a different groups of muscle which will be just like working. When you're going to be working with your heel and the toes, it's going to be a different group of muscle working. So this is where you should be just like aware of a specific. When you want to design yoga postures for an athlete, you need to be understanding the athletes. For the athletes, the last priority is going to be yoga, because we talk about yoga, we do yoga, everything is just like there a lot in India, but like when you're going to be when you're going to be taking yoga outside India, still it's a baby. So most of them, they don't have confidence or they don't have trust. It is not because like they don't like it, it is because still they don't know how the baby will be reacting to their body. So like all that is the last priority which is being just like given. So when you want to design something for an athlete, first and foremost, you need to be understanding what is happening inside your body when that particular sport or that game is being just played. You need to be able to be analyzing like this, because in running, you cannot be just like going and saying that, okay, fine, like you're a runner, okay, I can just stretch your hamstrings, I can stretch your lower back, I can just like stretch your quadriceps, I can be just like getting on with your hamstrings and going to be with your calf muscles. This will be just like good. No, it is not going to be happening. There is a different types. I hope you understand about it. So like, I want to just like make you to understand before I am going to be running this slide, so that like it makes some sense. Is it clear? Are you able to understand it, what I am talking? Yes, no? No, I can't hear. Thank you. So basically what I have just like done over here is like, you can just like see it a warm up for all these sport. I have just like made it all together, like which is going to be the first one is Surya Namaskaram. How to play the video. There is a video inside it. Can it be played? So this is my son. He is 10 years. So he is in Hong Kong probable team for badminton, but like we hold an Indian passport. In a couple of years, he'll be coming back to India and playing for the India under 13 team. Okay, and he holds also 3 Guinness World Records. So like normally for a pranayamam, we can be just like going with a sun salutation to just like for a warm up, we can be just like going with a sun salutation, and like we can be just like going for a Bastrika pranayamam and a Kapalabhati pranayamam, which will be just like working very good for warm up to all these sports. Okay. Next slide. Next slide, please. So this is like, okay, also you can be just like going on with the pranayama was like anulom vilom and everything. It is just like to enrich the oxygen supply in your body. So again, like focus on concentration. The best one, what yoga has just like given us the Tratak. If you want anyone, so this is a common for these 3 are a common protocol for any sport or game, what you're going to be just like playing. Okay, on the warm up, you can be just like using sun salutation. On the breathing aspects, you can be just like using your Kapalabhati or Bastrika to just like get inside. And also you can be just like using for concentration, because all these sports need an extreme concentration and focus to just like play on with it and like everything. So Tratak will be the best one, where like it also just like, you know, that when you're going to be just like practicing Tratak, it's not only going to be just like releasing it's not only going to be on just like focusing on concentration, it releases the stress, and also the eyes are going to be getting more sharper. So next one, you can be just like seeing it off, we'll be just like seeing around like badminton yoga. So like for you, like those who don't know, like badminton is a game which is born in India. Okay, the Englishmen, they were just like playing in Pune. So the first name for badminton is known as like Pune. Okay, it is how like the badminton was just like, it is also an Indian soil game which is now getting popular and like everything. So it's all the, I think like I don't want to introduce any one of them, so hopefully you would have just see them all in TVs. Okay, it's the Indian team which just like goes off. And like with the Sindhu with the Olympic medal. So this is the Indian team, and like you can see the great man who just like built up the Indian team is like the backside of me is like Mr. Gopichand, Pulila Gopichand, who was a former All England champion, and like so he's the one who's just like built up the team and like completely everything. So that is on the back half, it's going to be like Saina. So frankly speaking, we don't get like much space. So wherever I travel with the team, I just like traveled almost like more than like 90 countries and like everything. So wherever we get the space and like everything, we make sure that like we are just like using our like yoga techniques and like everything to just like go ahead and like everything. So these are all the articles like we just like came, so we can just like forget it. Okay, now just like coming on with it. So how do you just like play the game? Okay, what it is, badminton is a combination of an offensive and the defensive stand. So normally you can just like see that like where I'm just like standing on the right side, you can just like see the lower stand, what I'm just like taking. That is like getting ready. Normally it's a defense, so like whatever the opponent is going to be just like doing, I need to be reacting to it. Because the opponent has the service, so he will be controlling the game. So like I need to be having a reaction, so I need to be there on the lower stance. Normally in yoga, we can just like practice that, or we can master it by like just like taking on with that Utkatasana, which just like comes over here. And like in Kalari, what we just like know, what we just like call it as in Kalari, we have like 8 forms of animals we just like get inside. In like Kalari, we just like call it as like Gejavadivu. Geja means it is going to be an elephant. When I just like take a stand, like normally I just like take it off like this. So more going on with my toes. So where here I can be just like using my Tadasana or Talasana to just like strengthen it off and like everything. I'm stabilizing it off, so it's going to be like more getting on with the lower one. And like whenever I'm going to be getting on with the net on an offensive aspect, when you want to just like tap or you want to just like go, I normally go like this. So basically just like you see that. So these are the 2 combinations. If you want to just like see the movements which is incorporated on the court, you can be just like seeing that it's just a combination of these 2 postures. If you're able to be mastering it off, you can be playing a better badminton. So if it's going to be getting in our center, I stand like this. When I want to go to the right corner, so I go here, there's going to be a position, and I go back, I get back here, same thing here, I get here, so always on a wall here, so I go back here, and I want to just like move this back, so just because, same again, I just like come in a half wall here, I get back here, same, I get back here, so the movement is like fully only here. So this is how you move in badminton, basically. Okay. So I hope you can just like can just imagine it of how you need to be just like designing a class if a badminton player comes to you. It is just a combination of Utkatasana and a Virabhadrasana variation. And with that, like when we are going to be taking on a wrist, with the wrist always like we can be just like working with a Kalari Paita movement, or like we can be just like having a stick, which we call it as Silambam. So basically with a stick, we can just like get it off with them. So a basic movement, what you can do is like getting it off from here is just getting it off. combination. So we just like goes, or you just like go with the single hand. So you just like change it. When you're changing, normally you can just like see the, it's all different works. So I think will be just like more than enough to just like build your forearms much better. I know that I'll be getting a slip soon. Okay, so you can be just like seeing it off. So this is the movement. You can just like see over here. So how deep you need to be just like going it off. So it's all like when you're going to be just like getting a warrior. See, for example, like I'm able to be stronger in a warrior. If I'm going to be getting in a net, and my warrior is going to be like stronger. If I'm able to stand here, I can catch the shuttle here, I can catch it 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 here, I can go low. Whatever I want. Still I'm stable. My CG, the pelvic stabilization, is like more stronger. So once my lower body is stronger, this is easy to control. I can just like do whatever I want in my racket. So this is skill. So like all that is like you just master your body, then skill is going to be taken care easily. So like you can just like see it of the postures, getting on with Utkatasana and the warrior, and same thing just like getting on with the Kalari. So that is my wife in the last. Her name is Lakshmi Yuva, so she is also MSc Yoga. It is not like with her interest. Sometimes like when you marry a monkey, you need to be jumping on it. So it's just like because of me. She's also over there. So the center is going to be my son, and like me. And like this is again like what we call it as an Ashwa Vadivu. Ashwa means it's going to be the horse. The horse posture comes in Kalari like this. So and like just like getting on with the pranayamams. Okay. So the warming down. So also as a video, I think like we don't have like so much time. So it is going to be getting on with a Shitali or Shitgari pranayamam to just like cool down your body. The Anlom Inlom, like what you can be just like doing it off to improving your lung capacity, and just like getting on with the Brahmari to just like calm down your mind, to just like get inside the next sessions. Especially why we need to be spending a lot of time in the cooling down is like because to make the lactic acid dilute in your blood, so that like you are going to be just like getting ready for the next session. So this is quite important. This is what made me to just like work with the Chinese team or the Indian team. The recovery, how fast you are going to be giving a recovery to a sportsman there where he's going to be appreciating you. So all that is you need to be like knowing like what you are doing, you need to be knowing about the sport. Okay, the next one we'll just like go. Next slide please, sorry. No need to play the video, yeah. Okay, so this is like golf yoga. So like for golfers, see, trust me, if you want to like really, let us just like talk about some financial things. If you want to earn money, the best one is this one. This only took me to Hong Kong. I designed a class for the South China Golf Club, okay, which is known as a golf yoga. My ex-boss was a golfer. I don't know, maybe she just like came to India, she interviewed out of like, it was, the interview was there in 5 cities. Out of 600 people, they selected 5 people, and I was leading the team. Okay, I'm saying like in early 2000. After that only I realized that like she just took me over there because she wanted to get better in her golf. Then I was also teaching for the center, but like she was, all that is like, she was putting on my head that like, okay, design something for golfers. That is where my son will be having money. Okay, in yoga we can make money, fine. So that is where like it was an XXX dollars. Trust me, XXX dollars per hour. I'm not going to just say how much. So it's a triple X per hour you can be charging, US dollars. Okay, so she told that like, okay, design a class. So when I was just like designing, I'm not a golfer, I don't know how to play golf. So all that is I told, ma'am, help me to learn golf. She was looking at me. Son, per hour to learn golf over here, to learn a golf thing, they charge $1,000. let it be no issues. I need to learn a golf, or else I won't be knowing what will be just like happening and like everything. So in that time only, I learned golf. All after going to Hong Kong, I learned golf. So from there understanding, there is a 5 principles which need to be just like getting on with the golf. It's going to be a rotation, extension, core stability, strength, and balance. You need to be focusing on this 5 aspects to just like get it off. For example, imagine this is going to be a golf club. Trust me, golf ball is going to be just like getting in the ground. How many of you have played golf? How many of you have ever touched it? You know how to hit the shuttle, how to hit the ball? First time when you go to a golf club, if they just like give you a club and just like put a ball down, trust me, hardly it's a standing ball, you can't even hit it. Don't worry about hitting it, you can't even touch it. Okay, so it has a stance to just like move on with it. A proper golf stance comes like this when you're going to be just like taking it off. So the left leg will be a little in the front. Yeah. Okay, right will be just like back. So from here, it's all the pelvic stabilization. Bend your knees, you just like go inside half Utkatasana, push your hips back. You need to be maintaining this, and from here, when you're going to be catching your golf club, it's going to be like this. This finger will be just like stretched. From here, the twisting, extension, and rotation. So this 2 shoulders should be getting in straight line. And with the same thing only, you hit. And still, you cannot come up. If you come up, you can't touch the ball. So this is how a golf is played. Okay. So from there, like hitting thousands and thousands of ball, what I just like found out, I need to be focusing on this aspects in yoga and like everything. Sorry, I'm just like taking your lunch time, just like give me another 5-10 minutes. Are you okay with it? Thank you. So the 5 elements on the postures, I've just like given it off like just like a gist. So getting on with a tree posture, the person with me is like Srikanth, former world number 1. Okay, for balancing, and like Vakrasana, my little one, my little daughter name is Vikruti, she is 4 years, and my son who's just sitting back, Darunan. So it is going to be like for a rotation, and for Navayasana, you can be just taking it for like core stability, and a plank posture, you can be taking it for strength, and Adho Mukha Svanasana. So try to, okay, I want to just explain much deeper, but I'm just running out of time. So I think we can just like talk later, maybe sometimes when I just come to your university, I'll just talk deeper on this aspects and like everything. So basically for golfers, most of them are like the amateur players, or they just like play for fun. So we cannot be pushing them a lot in pranayamam. So Nadi Shuddhi, Brahmari and Shitali should be good enough for them to just like take their golf game better. Kalari Yoga. Okay, so you can see all the logos and like everything. So it's all like specially designed by my wife, like long back, around like 15 to 80, I think, yeah, 15 years when we just got, no, we got married 10 years before. Okay, this logo she has just like designed it off and like everything, so that like where the Kalari, the sword comes and the yoga moves inside that. So like Kalari is known as mother of all martial arts. I know like there's a lot of different country people who are sitting here, but trust me, like all the martial arts came from Kalari only. You can just like see that like the south is like not, the Britishers were not able to penetrate much inside our south because most of the South Indian people are Kalari practitioners, and the army can be controlled with Kalari. We call something which is known as Vaitar. Vaitar means like it's a command, which they just like sing like a song, and the army moves according to it and like everything. So I don't know whether you all know that. Still in Tamil Nadu, Kalari is banned. Till date, Kalari is like, okay, it is done during the Britishers period, but like still it just continues. You can be asking me why it is in Kerala and Trivandrum, everything is happening. In the south, the first kingdom to pay the, what is that? They pay something for the British and like everything, or the first Samasthanam to just like do it off as Thiruvananthapuram Samasthanam. So they made Kalari, Kathakali and like everything as a state of art. So that like it was just like going on with it. So till date also you can be seeing it off, like most of the Kerala government functions, the Kalari and like Kathakali will be a part of it, which is just like there and like everything. But like in like Tamil Nadu, only like in the police functions and like everything, you can be just like seeing like Kalari programs which is just like happening. Okay, I don't want to go inside that one. Basically, it's an information what I am giving. And also Kalari, you need to be understanding, it does not belong to Kerala. It is Kerala, unlike Tamil Nadu. Like I can be a little bit more information for you. Whatever is practiced in like Kerala is known as like Vadakkan Kalari. Vadakkan means it's going to be on the north side, because like you can be seeing it off, they'll be focusing a lot on their body. Because when the opponents come in Kerala, there's a lot of mountains and like everything, so that like you need to be just like hiding in the mountains, you need to be just like behind a rock or something to just attack an enemies. So all their weapons will be short, small and crisp, and their body will be like very strong to attack. When you're going to be just saying Tekkan Kalari, which is going to be on the Tamil Nadu aspects, here we cannot be hiding and fighting. We have seas, so we need to be just fighting, we'll be just like going ahead with it. So that is what is we have Surul Wall, we have like Silambam, we have a Kedari. All the equipments will be longer to have the opponent to stay 5 to 6 feet away from you. So these are there are two types of Kalari for the information. Okay. So like here also like most of the celebrities and like everything, I think like is my guru like Dr. Kannan Pugalendi and like Kumar is just like sitting, and like I think that is Anu Hassan, the previous Kamala Hassan's sister, and like I have just like trained like Mr. Kamal also, like he used to just come and do it off, and like Surya and like everyone. Okay, leave that, no issues on it. So that is like in Hong Kong, like what we just like call it as like Kalari Yoga, what I just like first started over there and like everything. And they have made a documentary on me. I am the first one to just like bring Kalari to Hong Kong. Already Bodhidharma has just took it to China. I am the first one to bring the Kalari from like India to Hong Kong. So they have made a documentary on me, and like they came to India. So you can just like see, so this is a documentary, what it is. I think it is a video. Can you play a bit? Or the next one? Yeah. Yeah, it's a video. Can you play that? So this is what is known as
INCOFYRA 係瑜伽導師，喺香港居住，過去14年一直醉心古印度武術，
有種先聲奪人嘅感覺嘅。
戰場嗰度咧
真係以一敵百，本身呢樣兵器係幾難控制，王啊嗰啲好高級嗰啲指揮官先會練呢種。
Before you just touch any weapon, first your body should be strong.
You know what is Surulwal?
If not, the weapon is going to be strong.
Long sword.
Weapon is always strong. So your body should be strong enough to fight with the weapon. So always we need to make your body ready.
Can you just like play that video, please? Next slide. So almost like after you just like okay, here like how do we prepare with Kalari and like yoga, how the workouts has been just like done, and like everything is like in Kalari is the, I'll be just like saying it off, like in Chinese they say that Tai Chi, and like when it's implemented in the fight they call it as like Wushu, okay, or like it's known as a Kung Fu, what they just like use in fight. It is same thing, because I have done my PhD in this and like everything, done enough research, and I'll be more happy if like some more ideas are coming. The faster form of yoga is Kalari. whatever you just like, whatever the postures you have it in like yoga, it's implemented in the Kalari on the faster form. I'm doing still researches and like everything more, but like I think a lot of you guys need to be just like opening up to just like prove it off and like everything. When you're going to be practicing, you'll be just like knowing about it and like everything. It's a faster form of yoga as Kalari. And Kalari is known as mother of all martial arts. Let it be like Aikido, let it be like Karate, Kung Fu and like everything. I take your permission from Japan also because I've trained all the things. It's a Kakaido, Aikido, this is all a Japanese martial arts and like Tai Chi. I've just like done all the martial arts. I've practiced everything. So in everything, like the base, it just like comes from here. Okay. So like the cooling down pranayama, what we just like call it up like Ujjayi, Shitali, Nadi Shuddhi. So we just like do the Kalari movements faster and we try to just like cool down your body, bring down to a normal heart rate with the yoga postures. Next slide, please. So I think like Runner's Yoga, we just like saw enough about that and like everything. I started with that and like everything. I used to run marathons. I used to run like sub-3. That is a Great Wall Marathon. So almost there's a 7 wonders in the world. I have just like finished like 5 wonders. So 2 more I need to just like run to just like finish my marathons. So like Hong Kong Marathon and everything. And like when you're done, that is like in the Hong Kong Marathon, I'm almost like done. You can just like see that literally I'm just like, it's like a walking pace and like everything. So Hong Kong Marathon is the toughest one. So after that, like learned it off. So I run in sub-3. So like for creating a runner's yoga, I started marathons, to run marathons. So you can just like seeing that like the running phase has a 2-phase, standing phase and a swing phase. So this is all I think like the biomechanics, which like you'll be hearing a lot for next 2 days. So like here again, just like getting it off with your running, like you can be just like saying it off with the hamstring. You need to be having a twist. Your quadriceps need to be getting full stretched. And like if you just like see it off for runners, I will be always, because like most of you run and like just like walk, 2 postures, 3 postures, what I'll be just like suggesting you. One is going to be the Supta Vajrasan, where you'll be just like stretching your quadriceps completely and you'll be regaining your arch back fully. And the next one, it is going to be the Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, just a correction, what I want to just like do it off. Most of them, they think that like Adho Mukha Svanasana is like safer. Trust me, you need to be doing with your limitations. Because it's your shoulder is getting involved. You'll be just like pushing your shoulders fully. For 270 degrees only your shoulder has a protection. For 90 degrees, you don't have a protection. So if you're going to be pushing yourself more, definitely your shoulder is going to be getting dislocated, which has happened to me. So I'm just like, it's an experience what I'm just like sharing it off and like everything. So you need to be just like very careful. After you run and like everything, your whole body will be getting dehydrated. So when you're going to be just like stretching them, you need to be very, very, very careful and like everything. So unlike the third posture, what I'll be suggesting a lot is going to be the Sarvangasana. It's a very, very important thing, like which just like brings back your blood back to your heart. So like that, when the legs is going to be getting on the anti-gravity, so it just like tries to just rest it out and it can just recover much faster. So the breathing techniques, what you can be just like taking it off. So quickly, like can I have like 2 volunteers faster? Like there is a video here. Can you just like play this video, please?
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to stretch this hips.
Mostly opening the hips, you'll be finding it challenging to just like open your hips and like everything. So for that, like I have just like designed something to open my hips.
Then you pull yourself to this and you keep pulling until your legs are very parallel. After your legs are parallel, you press this button and then it goes down, and then you take a deep breath, and then it goes down. Take a few seconds. Use your breath to go down. Extend more. Slowly come up.
Open your legs together. Open
show you how to stretch this leg. First, you take this purple belt and then you tighten it like this and then you pull yourself to this and you keep pulling until your legs are very parallel. After your legs are parallel, you press this button and then it goes down and then you take a deep breath and then it goes down.
So this is a device which just like helps you to just like open up your hips. So basically adductors, abductors, glutes and like everything can be just getting stretched out and like everything. Like see how you just like see it in the video and like everything. Thank you. And then the next one is just like going to be strengthening your adductors.
Thank you. Request.
Strengthening the adductors and abductors. What it just like comes. The basic muscles, what it can be just like building up, not just like those who want to shed excess of fat around your hips and waist region. So a lot of workouts that you can take down on this and they can think about it. And like this is what I told you, like in badminton I do a lot of R&D. So this is just like improve your game and like everything. Because like everything really is in the center. So from here, so just like goes off and like everything. So basically, just like goes off. And this is for like, I don't know how many of you are just like seeing it. It's an automatic shuttle shooter to just like get your skill like so basically those fish shuttle like it just like comes. So whatever angles you want, you can just like touch it off and like everything. If you want some shuttles, I'll give you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the very interesting demonstration.
Grip what you just like do now because like asking 100 times you're going to be holding your grip and just practicing it just like makes sense like everything. So we have designed something for the badminton phase or the rackets for the tennis and like the racket sports so like we use this now. And this like is taking as a weighted racket or weighted grip. It just like goes off like this. So when you put a water bottle, it becomes heavy. And like the same thing I can use it as a dumbbell. So if I put a water bottle, two sides. So this is what. So this is the robo what you're seeing. Next slide please. So this is the grip what you're and thanks to my kids, that is Master Dharma Eva, like this is like literally she's like 4 years and like he's like 10 years. So soon she will be joining the college. So
So how yoga can be incorporated in sports personnel, how it can improve performance. In fact, making all of you experience this. Thank you very much, sir. And
Thank you. Thanks a lot,
of
sir.
course, I know you have many questions. I encourage all of you to interact with speaker during lunch break and tea breaks. We'll go to the next.
Know that you are like amazing.
Thank you.
So
thank you,
we
thank
would
you.
love to felicitate him. I request our chairpersons, Dr. Prashant and Dr. Raghavendra Bhatt ji, to please do the felicitations for him. Let's give him a big round of applause. A pre-lunch session being so active is very, very tough, and I think all of you are so alert. Thank you so much.